Usually what happens is after I've read all the books I'm going to read and screen through all the footage I'm going to screen through, I break away and write the script. At that point, it's pouring out of me. I mean, I think I've written most of my movies in a day or two.
Do you not let yourself write until that time?
Yes.
So it's all in your head.
Exactly. So I'm
like,
ready to burst.
Go.
I'm ready to burst. Because deep into the screening, I've already locked into what I'm going to be able to make out of this footage. So the last half of the screening process is just making sure it's going to play itself out.
Okay.
Because the screening process, you got to remember, goes for 2 months. So you could say I'm writing in my head during that entire 2-month period. You know, where I'm trying to check the angles and make sure that we're going to be able to land this where we need to land it.
Do you see the movie in your head?
Yeah, no, it starts with an attitude. It always starts, well, yes, all my films start with me writing down a series of words to describe the subject. And then that becomes the style of the film.
Okay.
And that's why each film looks different than the next. The styles become the personification of the subject.
Some of those words for Jane?
Jane was passion, probably first and foremost, connectivity, gentle, you know, that sort of stuff, which really sort of embraces the sort of mise en scène of that film, whereas Kurt was everything but.
What kind of words for Kurt would it be?
See, now I can't remember the exact words anymore.
And so you get the words in your brain.
I get the words in my brain. I mean, Bob Evans, I remember very specifically, was like, you know, kitschy, romantic, sexy, and that's what the kid sees in the picture is.
Okay.
You know.
And do you talk to anyone about your ideas, or is it all in your head?
No. I've never had a collaborator like that. I mean, I did actually, when I started my career, I did my first film with someone, and so that was great. And then since then, I kind of don't. Which is fine, because I don't really want anyone's input at that point at all. In fact, I absolutely do not want anyone's input. I find that to get to this station in life where you have final cut over your films is a privilege. It is a privilege that I have worked and fought tirelessly to achieve. And I preserve that, and I hold on to that sanctity. And I don't like to see, people ask me, like, I ran into a filmmaker when I was doing montage, and she said, "Oh, you're doing that film, you must have seen my film." And I said, "What's your film?" And she told me the name of her film, and I said, "Well, why would I have watched that?" And she goes, "Because it's considered the greatest rock and roll film of all time." And I looked at her and was like, "Why would I want to watch, what's that have to do with Kurt Cobain and my film?" Like, I'm sure your film is about whatever narrative your film is on. My film's on whatever narratives my film's on. And I could tell you that I don't like to look at other films for inspiration, documentaries when I'm working on a film. My fear is that I'm going to see something and I'm going to like it so much I'm not going to want to do it. Because I take pride in the fact that my films, that each film is rather unique. And I don't understand, you know, like I did this film, The Kid Sees in the Picture, and then people started doing the photo animation. I don't understand it. Like I even haven't done that photo animation since that film. Like I never wanted to do it again. It had been done. And I think what's exciting in film, and particularly documentaries, unlike fiction, where the language has only evolved in baby steps since the Great Train Robbery. I mean, you could go from Potter to Spielberg, and it's literally grown like that. But documentary is the wild, wild west. Anything goes in documentary. It's the most experimental genre of cinema.
More constraints give you more freedom, somehow.
Yeah, I guess, you know, I mean, it's like, because you can do this film a myriad, 100 different fucking ways, and unlike dominant cinema, where you generally are tied down to putting the camera on either this side or that side of the action, there are no rules. There literally are no rules. And that makes it really fun and exciting and fresh. And one of the things I love about nonfiction, there's this question that people ask, like particularly when you're doing subjects of people that have been well-traveled. So you're doing a film on the Rolling Stones. What are you going to tell me that's new? What are you going to tell me that's fresh? Or you're doing a film on Jane Goodall. So what new information did you unearth? Well, I'm not a journalist, okay? if I thought that someone had done, if I didn't think there was space for me to make the type of films I'm going to make, I wouldn't make them. But the reality is, most people who came to documentary came at it from a journalistic standpoint. I've approached documentary from a cinematic standpoint. So my question is always, how can we tell this story in a uniquely cinematic manner? What can we offer that can only be achieved in film that you couldn't write a book about? Because otherwise, write a book. Yeah. Okay? Books are way better for biographies. You get 800 pages. You know how many hours that is in film time? That's like a 150-hour-long film. Okay? I get 90 minutes. So it's either going to be Cliff Notes to history. It's either going to, or Wikipedia. I mean, the worst documentary biopics are Wikipedia entries. And they travel, they go, oh, well, they had this hit record there, and they have this hit record there. And so I'm always asking myself, what can I do that's specific and unique to cinema to bring the story to life? And in the case of the Stones, I'd read a bunch of books about them, and I'd seen the films, or there really hadn't been a film that kind of transcended a moment in time, because all their films were really like Altamont or the 65 Irish Tour or whatever. So I thought there was room in a space. With Jane, there was clearly an opportunity to do an immersive movie. I mean, and nothing like it had ever been done really using this material. So that's what's exciting to me.
Continue watching this fascinating conversation for free by clicking on the link below to visit our website, learn from the best minds in the world, and connect with a community of passionate people building the best versions of themselves. Just click on the link below, and I'll see you on the inside.